Hello and welcome back to You Live. Joining us here, the wonderful Lily Richards from Unity Books. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Really good. Nice to see you.
Oh, all I can see on the computer screen is models, talent management. Have you got a...
invoices.
Are you
Are you doing a bloody model show?
No, not me.
a model show?
No, I was paying the talent section.
You're paying some talent.
Yeah.
What did you get them to do?
DJ.
Oh, yeah. Just models DJing?
No, not models
like something
DJing.
out of
Look, this is the business side of my life, okay? Dealing with invoices, all right? Bloody hell,
cool.
You guys. I was just checking out what it was worth, you know? Okay, there you go. Anyway, how's the book industry this week, Lily?
Yep, good. Ticking along.
Ticking along?
Ticking along.
See, I would never describe the industry that we work in as ticking along. I would say that the television industry is booming. It's amazing. It's the best.
I think it's not so much a difference in industry as it is in intonation between you and I.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like the stock on this book. Tell me about the book.
Always about the stock. Okay,
It's a thing you need to talk about, because when you're reading a book with crap stock, you don't want to read it. That's personal preference, but...
I think we just generalise there, but sure, good stock. Let's start off with the most important thing first, and then we'll just go down the scale of like what it's called and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Okay, good stock. And it comes from, it's one of the series, have you heard of the Best American series?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
I don't know where I've heard about it, but I did hear someone talking about the Best American series.
Ah, well...
Could be lying to you, though.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm not lying, though. I'll say, yeah, I've heard about it.
Cool. So some of them, there's heaps of them, they've been around for eons,
Yeah.
and they kind of split out. So at the beginning it just started with a few, but they're in genre topics. So you've got like Best American Sports Writing, Best American Science Writing, Best American Essays, Non-Fiction Essays, and what they are is the collections of, within that genre, throughout spanning the whole year that it's representing, and like this giant base, and it's curated and edited by people who really excel in that field. So you get an amazing author to curate. So, but one of my favourites, and they're all really good, and everyone comes rushing in, and we sell out of them really quickly. But my favourite, and the one that actually sells least, I don't know if there's a connection there, but is the Best Non-Required Reading, which is what this is, cut to small camera.
Wow. So what does that, is that
So
mean
there's a
what it
star-studded
says?
line up there as well, yeah.
Guillermo del Toro directed Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, and was slated to direct The Hobbit, but pulled. So the introduction is by him, and it's edited by Dave Eggers, and Dave Eggers edits it, or has done for years now. One of the really interesting things about this book is the way in which it's compiled. So normally an editor would go out and just choose the work themselves based on their own the criteria within the theme. But what Dave Eggers does is that he runs, have you heard, so he runs McSweeney's, he's the editor for McSweeney's.
Which we all know and love.
Yeah, and they're based in San Francisco, and they at like 826 something Valencia Street. And what he does a really good talk on this on TED, which I sent a link so we can post that. But I'll just briefly paraphrase. So they've got their base there. They've got all these editors who just sort of spend their time there working. And Dave Eggers, who's kind of like the Jamie Oliver of the literary world, realised that all these kids were suffering a lot in their education because they didn't get enough one-on-one time with teachers because the school population is just kind of bloated.
Right.
So he was like, well, look, we've got a whole lot of editors just kind of hanging out here doing some work, but we've got some spare time. So they ended up taking on tutoring roles after school for students so that they could learn to do a bit of reading and writing, and they did. And this has kind of expanded and blown up. And the Valencia store is quite funny because they had to set up a base to do this tutoring, and the space that they wanted to buy was zoned as like a retail store, so they had to legally sell something there in order to use it as a premises to tutor.
Right.
So they've got the only pirate supply store in the United States. You can buy stuff online, like interesting hooks, spare legs, good signs, that sort of thing.
Like an actual pirate store?
It's an actual pirate supply store. Yeah.
That is weird and quirky, and I love it. That's awesome.
It's really good. You can go there and buy like patches and all sorts of stuff. Pirate paraphernalia.
Why did they...
Because they had to have a storefront.
So they just decided pirate stuff?
Well, it was a front anyway. Like, they weren't actually going to sell anything.
Right.
So that they thought,
Do they sell things, though?
Well, yeah, they sell the pirate supplies.
It's the side of the business probably booming.
Yeah.
Just because of that weird quirkiness.
But you might realise, what has this got to do with the book that's sitting on her lap and she hasn't referenced in it? Just everything. He runs so some of those children who are, it's from like 8 to 18 that they tutor, and the 18-year-olds have a like this special sort of creative writing, I guess, session that's run with Dave Eggers, But their job is to curate and edit and pick out of all of the possible journals, magazines, miscellany out of the year what goes into the best known required reading. So this is chosen and selected by 17-year-olds. 17 and 18-year-olds from the local high school. That part of their program is every week they go to the basement and they have this really sort of animated conversation between themselves, and they go through all of this material that's brought in, and it's non-required, so it's like everything. It's stuff from WikiLeaks, it's speeches that have been made, it's patents that have been put through, it's lawsuits, it's like everything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I know, it's amazing, and just reading through this stuff, and it's stuff that you'd never come across otherwise anywhere else. And they have this argument where they have to go yes, no, or maybe. And you put things in piles, and then they have to stand up and speak to the piece that they think deserves to be in. And they have these really spirited discussions about what deserves to be in the book and what doesn't. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the year, that's what you find in here.
That's amazing. Let's play a music video, and then we come
I'll give
back.
you some examples.
Yeah, please. Music video by Eminem?
No, but a metronomy. The Bay.
The Bay. A wonderful song. Called The Bay. Back with Lily Richards, our the world's most amazing book reviewer.
It's true, people have said that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Connor said that.
Yeah, I said it once. I said it multiple times, actually. So we're talking about this here book. What's it called again?
The best non-required reading from the Best American series. Yee! Sorry, too fast.
I love
too
the
eager.
Best American series. Now, looking into some examples from the book. Firstly, for the gamers.
Oh, yeah, go on. Keep
no,
explaining it.
Okay, which one was it? So, firstly, for the gamers, this is just a collection of Call of Duty name handles. So
You want to share some of those because this is your thing?
yes, toilet clogger, toilet_clogger 247, 24/7, just clogging toilets all hours of every day. Mr. Bigglesworth, Luke Skyhumper,
Iraqi shoe thrower, for some strange reason.
Crunk Fu. I like that one. My favourite, your mum. Always a favourite when playing
Elegant.
games.
I love the random numbers that they associate after it, because like
Yeah, too
your
far.
mum's 741, because there have been 740 other your mums.
Yeah.
But it's
There's
not
still the
chronological.
enthusiasm still there. Like you don't get the creativity to create something original. You just put the number on. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I still
I'm
want
okay
their
with
name.
12 other people.
Yeah, I
being
still
into
want
it.
their name, but
Yeah.
it's going to change the numbers up.
Best American lawsuit from Miami New Times. A Miami doctor sued a restaurant, claiming that the restaurant staff failed to warn him not to eat the tough, pointy leaves of an artichoke. He is seeking more than $15,000 in damages for bodily injury, quote, resulting pain and suffering, disfigurement, mental anguish, loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life, and healthcare expenses after he wound up in the hospital with severe abdominal discomfort from eating an entire artichoke.
What was like the second to last thing he was suing for?
Healthcare, mental,
Enjoyment for life.
the loss of the capacity to enjoy his life.
That is...
What? I always get really distracted when
Yeah.
you point and get me to do other things.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm not a woman, I can't multitask.
What is this? There is a person... What did that even say?
Sorry, I said there's a guy with a PlayStation Network account with the name some Chinese guy.
Nice.
How did you get PlayStation out of that?
PSN.
Oh, man, that's extremely new age.
Best American Wi-Fi network names, bisexual bridal shower. So this is something that's come up. Obviously, if you notice that if you've got an internet phone, you can see them popping
Yeah.
up everywhere you go. And it was originally when you set them up just like a obscure private thing that you do in your house.
Yeah.
But now everyone can see them.
Yeah, now it's like a competition to freak people out when they're walking down the road.
Yeah, you don't live here.
Guy just suggested pretty fly for a Wi-Fi.
Nice.
That's a good one.
That's not only good, but it's a pun, so it's 1,000 times better. Best American Mark Twain quote. This is my favourite. It was not right to give the cat the painkiller. I realise it now. And they've got these little snippets which are just like summary things, and then they've got a huge amount of short story writing, short stories that you might not have come across, and then also stuff from This American Life. They've got transcripts, and I found this one, which I actually heard online, Midlife Cowboy, and this is a transcript from a This American Life story, and this is about this guy who was a drug runner in Mexico in his early 20s, and he sold methamphetamines. He was not partial to drugs whatsoever, so he was fine, he didn't succumb. But he felt really bad about it later in life, went on to have a totally normal life, family, kids, job, whatever. Felt like in some way he needed to be punished or to give back. And so on his 40th birthday he decided to go and help someone. And he Googled this area in Mexico where he ran drugs and found that these people had fled there and they were being wanted. Were wanted for murder in the States, for selling methamphetamines, and they had their young child with them, and who was like 4, who they kidnapped from the grandparents, and their 2-month-old baby who had Down syndrome. And so he goes on this like epic journey to try and bring them back, and becomes this kind of cavalry vigilante. And the story turns into directions you would not expect, and it has these really strange moral outcomes. So from everything, from patents to great heroes of every day, everything is in this book. Great for boys or people with short attention spans. I'm not necessarily joining the two here.
That sounds like I would enjoy that book.
There you go.
Maybe I should get that book. There you go.
Okay.
The best American...
Non-required reading from the 2011 Best American Series.
There we go. Tyler says, Lily looks just like... Why did you bring that up? But. Haha, you're really pretty. It's just your glasses. Goosh, and you're pretty, and you're kind of quirky.
I do look like quirky now as I'm hiding behind the book.
Yeah, I did that before with a prize that we had, and I looked like Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure as always.
Oh, it's such a pleasure having you in here.
Yeah.
Love talking about books, but I have to say that this does actually have really great stock.
Back to the most important point, I like the way you run it back.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
Can I also say that I think that same-sex couples
Oh,
should
yeah,
be able
no,
to adopt?
I'll bring it up on
You
the
only
poll.
asked me about like bananas and oranges, and the one thing that might be... Okay, adoption for same-sex couples, yes. Do you ask anyone to give it, like, why?
Yeah, ready?
I'm ready. Orphans would be stoked to be adopted by loving parents regardless of sexuality. Nice.
You can read it to everyone if you want. You're good
Yeah,
at reading.
well, so I'm just like having a private moment.
We
Definitely
made the
better at
point.
reading than I am.
We made the point to Reginald's comment though that that's less onus on the child and the parents, but more on the stupid bullies who are making stupid remarks. So it's more of a societal thing that needs to change.
Yeah.
As opposed to people not being able to adopt.
Did you hear about that good story of that woman who wrote My Boy's a Princess
No.
on national radio? Or
didn't
My
hear
Little
that.
Princess? This woman had a little boy who dressed up as a princess. He was a boy, obviously.
Right.
And she's written this whole book on how basically to deal with that as a parent and how that's totally fine. You just have to like.
Well, obviously,
kind
when he
of,
was dressing as a princess.
4, 5? And she was like, no, you can't do this, it's wrong, because she was fundamentally concerned about him and bullying and stuff. But there's this huge movement now that's sprung up around it. She's got a book, everything.
I reckon I dressed up as a princess when I was 4.
Find some photos of that for us?
I could Photoshop something.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in.
Pleasure.
Love it. Do you know I learned a song today? I'm going to play it out to you while we go to the ads.
Okay.